Welcome to Ask the Expert with noted radio host Steve Sleeper. Each week, Steve interviews entrepreneurs and professionals and shares their intriguing stories of success and service. Now, here's radio veteran Steve Sleeper.
And our guest today is Mark Gaertner with Walsh & Gaertner. They're personal injury attorneys in St. Paul, Twin Cities. Mark, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Steve. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm fine. Hey, tell me a little bit about yourself and your firm.
Well, Steve, I'm a shareholder at the law firm of Walsh & Gaertner. We're located in downtown St. Paul. I'm a personal injury attorney. I help people that have been involved or injured in a car accident or injured on someone else's property.
Now, let me ask if I've been in an accident, and you've sort of answered this question to some extent, but if I've been in an accident, why do I need an attorney? Won't the insurance company take care of me?
Well, I think that's a common misconception that many people have. You figure I'm paying all this money for insurance, and when I get in an accident and need the insurance company is going to pay me everything that I'm entitled to. That doesn't happen very often. There's a lot of things that the insurance company may not provide to you or let you know all the coverages that you have available. And then at some point, your own insurance company may stop paying your medical bills. So I think with getting a lawyer involved, you get the opportunity to have someone tell you all the benefits you're entitled to. And when you don't get those benefits, you have an advocate to pursue the insurance company to get the benefits you deserve.
I see. Okay. So what should we look for in a personal injury lawyer?
Well, I think the most important thing to look for in a personal injury lawyer is someone that you feel comfortable with, because it can be a long-term relationship. I mean, a lot of personal injury cases, they can go on for a year or a couple of years, depending on if you get the case settled or you have to go to trial. So I think it's very important that when you meet with the lawyer, that before you sign the retainer agreement, that you make sure you're comfortable with the person and that you can trust them and feel that you'll be able to work with this person. Often people go in to see a medical doctor, and the doctors are scheduling patients one after another, and they come in and they're real quick and they're kind of in and out the door, and you're kind of like, hey, wait, doc, I didn't tell you my whole story. I think you need to hire a lawyer who's going to sit and listen to your whole story and provide the assistance you need. You want to hire a firm where a lawyer is actually going to work on the case. There's many firms where you'll meet with an investigator who's not a lawyer, and then your case is assigned to a paralegal, and you may never hear from your lawyer. So I think it's important for somebody when they're considering hiring a lawyer, to make sure or have that lawyer tell them that the lawyer's actually going to work on the case and it's not just going to be a paralegal. Now, paralegals do a lot of fine work on cases, but you need to hire a firm where the lawyer's going to have some involvement other than just handing the client the settlement check when everything's said and done.
No, okay. So what's the cost associated with coming to an attorney like you?
There's no cost. We will meet with anybody who has a potential personal injury case, and there's no charge if we take the case or if we don't take the case. So we call it a free initial consultation, but it goes beyond that if we actually are retained by someone who's injured in a car accident or injured on someone else's property. What we do is it's called a contingency fee arrangement. And what that means is the client doesn't pay us any money up front. We don't take a retainer fee. We don't have the client pay for any out-of-pocket expenses. We cover all those out-of-pocket expenses, and the only time we get paid is if we get a settlement. If we get a personal injury settlement for somebody, then we charge a fee. And the general kind of industry standard is 1/3 of the settlement. And that can vary depending on the type of case, depending on when we get retained, depending on the complexity of the case. But generally, the industry standard is 33% of any settlement.
Okay, now shifting gears just a little bit, but I believe this is something that personal injury attorneys deal with, and that's workers' compensation. Can you tell me what that is?
Well, workers' compensation is when somebody is injured on the job. You see construction, people working in construction, or it can be any type of job. It's when you're performing your job duties, you become injured. That can be driving to and from a job site. That can be on a job site. It can be in your office if you slip and fall and injure yourself. And the insurance and the claims process in a workers' compensation claim is completely different than an auto case or a slip and fall case.
Okay. So, look, this is kind of a awkward question to ask, but are there some things I should keep in mind in case I'm ever injured? In other words, kind of keep in mind in case I'm ever in a car wreck. Are there some procedures I should go through as far as exchanging information, seeing my doctor, that type of thing? Hopefully that question makes sense.
Sure. Well, hopefully you never are injured, Steve. But
yeah, right.
Something to keep in mind is if it's, say, a car accident, call the police. Have the police come to the scene. Oftentimes we see people, they exchange information, the other driver gives the wrong information, and then we can't find that person. Or the other driver says, I'm sorry, don't call the police, here's my information. And then the next day when you call that person's insurance company, they say, well, our guy wasn't at fault, you were at fault. They completely changed their story. So we find it often helpful to have the police there to document everything. And speaking of documenting everything, if you're in an accident, take pictures. Take pictures of the other driver, take pictures of the vehicles, take pictures of the accident scene, take a picture of their driver's license and their license plate. All that information is very helpful. And if there's any witnesses, get their names and numbers. Witnesses can be crucial to the case, and oftentimes police officers don't take down information on the witnesses. So make sure if you can get that information, get it yourself. Don't rely upon the police officer to put it in his or her report. I think the next most important thing, Steve, is get the proper medical attention. A lot of times we often see people that at the scene, they say, yeah, I'm kind of sore, but I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to sit in the waiting room for 2 hours, or, I'll be better. I'll go home and get some rest and take some ibuprofen and I'll feel better in the morning. What we often see is people feel much worse the next day. And so it's important to go in and get checked out by a doctor as soon as possible. And the emergency rooms, it's not the place you have to go. There's urgency rooms. There's other clinics you can go to that you usually can get in quickly. You don't have to sit in a hospital waiting room and all night long. So I think it's important to get medical attention right away. That often helps the healing process and makes you feel better if you get some pain medication. Some other things to keep in mind is get a lawyer involved early. It doesn't cost you any more money to hire a lawyer the day after the accident as opposed to 6 months later after you've had 6 months of headaches dealing with an insurance company or companies. Get a lawyer involved and have that lawyer start doing all the work for you so you can just focus on your treatment. The lawyer's going to charge the same whether they work on your case for 2 years or they work on your case for a year and a half. So I think that's important, and people are often skeptical of lawyers if they've never hired one. But when you're injured, I think it's a good idea because every lawyer I know, they charge on a contingency. So you're not paying that lawyer by the hour. So I think those are some good things to keep in mind. Another thing is oftentimes before you hire a lawyer, the insurance company is going to call you, and they're going to want to get a statement from you immediately, because what they want to do is they want to hear you say and record you say this, that you don't think you were injured, because a lot of times that right after an injury, you're kind of in shock. You don't really feel the injuries until the next day. So what they want to record you they want a recording of you saying, "I'm fine," because they're going to use that against you in the future. So what I'd caution against is giving any recorded statement to an insurance company immediately after the accident. I just met with a gentleman in the hospital about a week and a half ago. He had several broken bones, a head injury, and was heavily medicated. And just before I got there, the insurance company called him and took a statement from him. The accident happened about 12 hours prior to the call, heavily medicated, and they're taking his statement. And that's how aggressive they are. I've been to other hospital visits where the adjuster shows up when I'm there to try to get a statement. I would highly caution about giving any type of statement until you consult with a lawyer.
Great advice, Mark. I appreciate this. And our guest today has been Mark Gaertner with Walsh & Gaertner, St. Paul, Minnesota, personal injury attorneys. Mark, how can we reach you?
I can be reached by phone or email. My direct line is 651-379-0977. My cell phone, 651-253-3347. Or I can be reached by email. The email is mark@Walsh, WALSH -Gaertner, GAERTNER.com.
Mark, thanks for being on the program today.
All right. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks for listening to Ask the Expert with Steve Sleeper. Join us next time as entrepreneurs and professionals share their intriguing stories of success and service.